Alright, I'm not a technician or an expert. I'm just a student who knows only a little about the audio amplifiers and audio electronics. But I genuinely love amplifiers. I love trying things, making mistakes, learning, and slowly improving. Back in my home country, I used to build and sell simple audio amplifiers. They were not the best or most powerful ones out there, but a few people liked them, and that made me happy. I liked them too because they were built by my own hands. Here, I work and study together, far away from my hobbies, my tools, my old room, my old table full of wires and soldering fumes. Now, I live in a shared house, quietly following the flow of life here. Days passed, responsibilities grew, and those moments of rest, they slowly collected dust. I gradually stopped uploading videos because I simply had no content. I didn't even have a screwdriver with me. Then one day, I received an email from Duke Audio asking if I could review one of their amplifiers. I agreed, but I didn't have any speakers. So I went to Value Village with my friends and found a pair of old Philips speakers. I uploaded that review. No, it didn't go viral, but it made me feel connected to my old passion again. After that, I got many more review units. I also started buying old vintage amplifiers from Value Village and Facebook Marketplace whenever I found them at a good price. But one dream still stayed in my mind: building an amplifier in Canada. Yeah, it's not a huge achievement or anything, but for me it was a challenge, mainly because I'm a student and everything is expensive here. Also, most electronic parts like cabinets and transformers are not easily available in my locality. Still, that idea kept coming back to me. So I decided I'm going to try, slowly, step by step. And that's where this series begins. Here, the story is completely different. Back in my village, it was easy to get whatever I needed to build an amplifier. Even if I just wanted a single resistor, I could hop onto my mom's electric scooter and ride to my Monday's shop. That was my routine. But here, things don't work that way. I couldn't find any place like that. Maybe such repair shops simply don't exist around the area where I stay. And without a car, traveling long distance through multiple bus routes just to find small part felt almost impossible. So after a while, I decided not to chase that path anymore. Online vendors became the only option. For the front panel, I explored acrylic engraving and stainless steel engraving. I searched everywhere online, but either the service were unavailable or the prices were way beyond what I could justify. The same problem repeated for every other component. For cabinets, AliExpress was the only real choice, but I wasn't ready to pay $95 delivery charge for a $50 aluminum chassis. Money was my biggest limitation, followed by time, followed by the kind of space I needed for proper work. And honestly, I wasn't even 1% sure whether this project would work or fail. So I decided to keep things extremely simple. I would make the cabin myself. I would build a low power amplifier, something around 50 watts per channel, either an STK or a transistor based design. Also, during my research, I later found that there are actually some well-known Canadian vendors too. One of them is Neurochrome by Tom, who builds high-end LM3886 amplifier boards, premium aluminum chases, and power supply modules for serious audiophiles. Then there are big Canadian electronics suppliers like Newark, Canada, Solon, and Avon Parts, where many professional builders source their components. Even brands like Hammond make world-class transformers and enclosures here in Canada. But honestly, I'm not going that deep into the project right now. This is my first build and I just want to start simple. learn step by step and see where it goes. So for now, I'm going to stick on to the original plan. Keep the project basic, control the budget, and in the future, as I grow and I learn more, I'll definitely research deeper and connect with these professional vendors. So here is the idea. I want a vintage look for the amplifier with a vacuum tube preamplifier section. After using the Duke Audio X1, I fell in love with the authentic tone that vacuum tubes add to the sound. So I needed a design. Whenever I got small breaks between my shift, I kept thinking, sketching and imagining how it should look. Even while working, my mind kept running through possible issues and their solutions. And I knew mistakes would happen. I'm not a professional, but that's a part of the process. Even mistakes become fuel for the next step. Using Google's Gemini, I created a 3D mockup of the amplifier, and here it is. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. Now, how are we going to build this? The base of the cabin is going to be a wooden chopping board. I know, it's strong, easy to drill, and perfect for mounting the transformers and the circuit board and everything else. If I use a metal, I would need tools like a grinding machine or a proper drill, none of which I have right now. The side panels of the cabin will be made from foam sheets, the ones you get easily from the Dollarama. They are cheap, lightweight, and easy to work with. And don't worry, the design has plenty of ventilation. I have planned proper airflow so nothing would overheat or melt the cabin. For smaller components like switches, wiring, and connectors, for now I'll mostly rely on AliExpress. This is actually going to be my first purchase from AliExpress, so let's hope everything goes smoothly. But the biggest problem still remains. Where will I get a transformer? Buying a custom-built transformer from AliExpress, eBay, or even from Amazon is possible. But the delivery charge alone is almost a deal breaker. Sometimes the shipping is more expensive than the transformer itself. So here is the plan. I'm going to buy a vintage amplifier from Facebook Marketplace for around $20 and take its transformer and other components. That way, the entire project stays within my budget and I get a pure copper branded transformers, something far better than a cheap generic one. But before I buy that amplifier, I need to know which amplifier board I am actually going to use, because the transformer I choose depends entirely on the voltage requirement of that board. So right now, I'm debating between the LM3886 amplifier board or an STK based board, like mostly STK 414 or any other model. Both options paired with a DAC and a vacuum tube preamplifier section will definitely give beautiful audio output. But there is another possibility. Should I just use the amplifier board from the vintage amplifier I'm going to buy? I know, that's not the authentic DIY way. If I'm going to reuse the same board and the same transformer, then what's the point of tearing the amplifier apart and putting it in a new cabinet? So, what do you think, guys? I really want to know your opinions and suggestions. Comment below. With that, soldiers, chapter 1, the plan comes to an end. If you want to continue this journey with me through the build, the mistakes, the fixes, and the experiments, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. See you in the next chapter.